All right, Cancer. So it was Virgo last week. It is you this week. You pulled Resurrection from Leave Empire, Repraise, Recovery, and Comeback. And then from Chakra Wisdom, you pulled Abundance. Beautiful cards. Now, Resurrection, the blessing here says this change can be made and swiftly. Ask for assistance and it will be yours. Let go and move swiftly through the transition. Working with this card talks about how it is time to make things happen for yourself. It is time to actively explore what you have always denied yourself the chance to do. For there is a path clearing before you, but it requires an enormous amount of determination on your behalf. You must remake yourself, look within and see what has less than satisfied you. And know that something that you thought was over, done with, and decided is truly about to surprise you. And I think that's you surprising yourself with this comeback here with abundance. Now, abundance. The inspiration says, think about your relationship with money. Are you the wise girl or the foolhardy man? Money is naturally attracted toward appreciation and gratitude. The personal question says, be wary of using your financial situation as an excuse to avoid doing something. Are your thoughts and actions around money empowering you or disempowering you? The key ideas are abundance through gratitude, releasing regret, and being good with money. So I just think that for a lot of you, you're looking at a hell of a comeback here where you're going to see some more abundance. All right, Cancer, here we go. Here is the energy coming through. The Chariot. Hello, Cancer. Yes. Now, moving quickly, right? But, one of the big reasons why the Chariot is, the card of Cancer is because it's talking about you getting control over the internal forces. When you're talking about willpower, getting control over your emotions, your thoughts, your desires, the light and the dark side of yourself, and you get that victory and that momentum forward. Now, for some of you, other than dealing with yourself here, right, you may be dealing with doing some traveling or just moving forward quickly in a situation here. Now, in the past, the Eight of Cups. So now with the Eight of Cups in the past, when you're talking about getting control over your emotions, it looks like you're doing that because you have stopped investing some emotional time with something that is weighing you down, right? Moving on emotionally before you do physically. It's saying that, you may have stayed with something a little bit too long here. Abandonment is the word with the Eight of Cups that's associated with it. But for me, I see it a little bit differently. I don't think that you're giving up on something and just walking away. What you're walking away from is something that was like depleting you. And you're moving quickly away from that. Oh, hell yeah. The Magician. Very nice. Now, I've noticed here lately that when I see the Magician, I really do think about the confidence that somebody has with themselves, in their skills, their abilities, the decisions that they're making, and what they're manifesting in their lives. Your reading looks great, Cancer. Shit. I don't want to pull anything else. If you're moving away from bad stuff, anything that was like draining you emotionally, you're moving into a better spot and you're doing it quickly and you're doing it in a major way. Future conditions, Temperance, needing to have a little bit of patience. And again, this control, and not only that, but this nice little like even flow when it comes to, your emotions and your thoughts here, because you can see how, she's mixing the water and the fire, and there's this beautiful rainbow coming out of that shit. Hell yeah. But then not only that, there's guidance. There is guidance around you. And that may be the reason why you're able to quickly start moving into like a more powerful and better phase. It looks really good, Cancer. Wow, your best path to follow. And maybe that's why Temperance is coming through. There may be more to see here with the Hangman. The Hangman is your best path to follow. Now, before you start picking up that momentum here in the majors, my God, you're going to have to kind of like wait and just wait a second here, because I feel like, with the Hangman, especially in this position, is saying that there is more to see here. It's not just about seeing things in a different perspective. and very much that is an important part of the hangman. But when I see it, I think of somebody that, is not seeing everything quite yet, So before you start moving forward too quickly here, there may be more that you need to see about your situation, about what you're trying to manifest here in your environment. So it may have to do with work. Now, for some of you looking at the Eight of Pentacles, to me, it almost feels like when you're looking at the Eight of Cups as the past and you're looking how it connects now with the Eight of Pentacles and you're looking at the Magician, it looks really good. You're putting your time and your effort into something that is actually going to benefit you this time. And the money around it looks really good, especially with abundance showing up here. But again, it's busting your ass. You're going to have to put in some effort here. If you're willing to, if you're wanting to see change, you have to be willing to put forth the effort. But it looks good. And I do think that for some of you, it could just literally be you leaving one job and then moving quickly into another. But, I'm waiting to see how this is working out here. Very nice. Wow, Cancer. Hell yeah. And it's about time you guys have a good reading. Your hopes and your fears, the Nine of Cups. Here's the thing. When you're looking at wish fulfillment and you're looking at emotional fulfillment and being happy with the things that you have, the question here is, are you going to be happy with it when you actually do receive it? You know what I'm saying? When it does finally come to you, is it still going to be what you want and what you need? So again, gratitude, right? Gratitude is absolutely the way to create more abundance in your life. Be grateful for the things that you have now so that what does come to you later is going to be what you want and you are going to be happy with it. But I do love seeing it, having your wishes fulfilled, and there's no reason why you shouldn't. Because what I'm seeing here looks really good. It's just, I'm looking at Temperance and the Hangman and I'm going, why? Why? Why does there need to be like a halt in things here? Okay. And I'm clarifying that. The Four of Swords. Now, for some of you, again, it goes back to what I was saying with the Nine of Cups. You have to really be clear, too, about what happiness is for you. What does that look like, Now, for the Four of Swords, for some of you, it's literally like needing to take a break here. Like maybe you just need to give yourself a second before you start moving quickly into something else. I think you're headed in the right direction, absolutely. I don't think that the Chariot is you, going in a direction that you don't need to be. But Temperance and the Four of Swords, that to me is saying that, maybe you need to give yourself a rest. You need to give yourself a break here before you start moving into doing some intense work. There are, some things that you are thinking about that are going to need to be cleared up here with the Nine of Swords. The Star looks really good. It's saying healing. It's saying hope. It's telling you to go with the flow of things. But there may be some really bad mental thoughts here that have to be cleared up before you can really start seeing this happiness here. You don't want to start busting your ass and then having, negative thoughts around what you're doing. And I hate the Nine of Swords. Now, I'm not seeing anything here bad at all. I think that you're being guided to do the right thing. You're taking the right action. You're going in the right direction. But, there's something else that needs to be seen here, right? And seen differently. There needs to be some clearing up of some negative thoughts here. But I'm not seeing anything bad attached to it. It's just the reason why you need to wait and hang out here for a second is because you got to give yourself a break. You got to give yourself a break. You got to clear up whatever negative thoughts you have, especially around work. As some of you are going from one position to the next here, and you're looking to be a little bit more happier with your position and get a little bit more abundance going here, there are some things that have to be cleared up for sure. But it's not... I feel like scolding you for the Nine of Swords. Like, damn it, stop thinking that stuff. Stop hanging on to those negative thoughts. What you resist is going to persist here. And it has the potential to ruin the new things that you're doing here. Because I feel like, with the Magician being there and the Eight of Cups, you've left something behind here. You're moving into something new and you're doing it quickly. But you don't want to do it so quickly that you're not looking at the things that need to be cleared up for you first, you know? All right, Cancer, we're going to take a look at the soul trees. Sorry, guys. We're going to take a look at the soul trees here to see what is going on for you guys. All right, so who are you? You know, where are you going? I think that you're doing all right here, but you're going to have to pull on some wisdom here when it comes to the changes that are happening. And it looks good. It does. But, you know, with wisdom, right, if you know that that's not right here with the Nine of Swords, right, then your wisdom is going to have to be kicking in here. Like, all right, now I know I shouldn't be thinking this way, right? So let's get to the bottom of this and start clearing some of this out here, because there's no reason why you shouldn't have hope. Especially, you know, with the changes that are happening. But it's like you take a major jump. You walk away from one thing and then you start busting your ass towards something else. You know, which is great and it looks great. It looks good, but you know, there may be some feelings of regret. Whatever that Nine of Swords is, it's just not good. Now, the solar plexus, right? It is your identity. It is your sense of self. You know, and being confident in yourself and your abilities. And not only that, but your ability to go along with change as well. All right, Cancer, we're going to take a look at the romance angels to see what else is going on for you guys in terms of love. Retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world. Now, you know, for some of you, you know, if you're meeting somebody new, retreat to me is you and that person taking some time away from the outside noise of the world to get to know each other, basically, right? Now, for those of you who are single, retreat is saying that, you know, maybe you just need to give yourself a break, right? Like you need to give yourself a break before you start moving into something else. Oh, my Lord. So you have separation and then you have wedding. Time apart from your partners on the horizon. This situation involves marriage. What is up? Now, this may be like, you know, and I see this a lot with this card for me. With separation, it doesn't necessarily mean that for some of you, you know, this is like a separation that's like meant to happen within the relationship. It may be because of things that are beyond your control. But your relationship is moving into a new higher level here that may involve marriage for some of you. Now, on the other hand, some of you may have come out of a separation here. And it's funny because I'm looking at a married couple and I'm looking at a married couple. You're leaving one relationship and jumping into another one, and it's moving quick. It's moving quick. And it's not a bad thing. And for those of you who are getting married, congratulations, right? Like, who cares? Who cares what other people say? And that may be where you need to disconnect from the world for a little bit too. But overall, Cancer, you need to clear up some bad thinking. Bad thoughts. It's no good. You know, there's no reason to think that way, especially with Temperance and the Star being connected to this. But I will say that for some of you, you're going to have to take a break. You're going to have to take a break and think about where it is that you are actually headed here. I think you're headed in the right direction. But ultimately, what does happiness look like for you when you get there? All right, Cancer. So what I like about this is that you have resurrection and you have the Chariot, right? Swiftly, like moving very swiftly here through a transition, and you're resurrected, right? It looks really good. And then with abundance, it's even better, right? Now, for some of you, it's you literally moving from one job to the next or one relationship to the next. And everything looks great. It looks like you have a little bit more confidence in yourself and your abilities and what you're working toward, you know, and if it comes to a new job, you're doing really good. The abundance is definitely there with the Eight of Pentacles, and you're busting your ass and it looks good. But Spirit is saying you need to have patience here, and you're going to have to wait a second. You know, there needs to be some enlightenment about something that I don't think that some of you are thinking about here. And you know, here it is. It's bad thoughts. It's bad thoughts. Like, you need to give yourself a break to do some healing over some negative thinking, because you don't want to be moving really quickly into a new situation here with bad thoughts. You know, because again, the Chariot, right? Getting control over those opposing forces. That's what you're supposed to be doing here. And I'm not seeing anything bad attached to it. I just think that Spirit is saying if you're going to move from one position to the next, that's great. And absolutely, you're doing the right thing. But you don't want to carry negative thoughts with that, especially with the Nine of Cups being there, because you don't want to jeopardize that happiness, right? And that wish fulfillment. Now, as far as the soul trees go, wisdom change in the solar plexus. I think that, things are changing for you in terms of like the way that you see yourself, your identity, your sense of self. But wisdom is asking you to think wisely about this nonsense here, because this is no good, right? It's just bad thinking. And basically that's what it is for most of you. It's just you have bad thoughts that you have to get rid of here before the new things can start kicking in. And I do feel like this is new, especially with the Fool, but then also with the Magician being here as well. Now, in terms of you who are in a relationship, separation and wedding, like literally here, this is you going through a separation and then moving quickly, and I mean quickly, into a new relationship. And for those of you who are getting married, congratulations, And for those of you who went through a separation, I'm sorry. But at the same time, yay, right? Like, oh, but yay. And it has such a weird feeling around it, but I do think that for a lot of you, it's boom, done with one, on to the next. Now, for some of you, it could just be that there is a temporary separation within the partnership and you're ready to move to marriage. It's just getting through that separation first. And I'm telling you, the married couple keeps showing up here. For those of you who are single, retreat. Now, again, it goes back to the Four of Swords, needing to give yourself a break. Maybe needing to think about the way that you see relationships here before you get involved. Now, for some of you, if you are meeting somebody new, it's going to move really quickly. But I think that the reason why retreat is showing up is because if you're moving that fast, you're going to want to move away from, the chatter of the outside world, because all that matters really is what makes you happy.